Hello and welcome to the Redmen TV Daily News Time, and there is loads of news to talk about. We're going to be talking about Buvac, we're going to be talking about Salah, we're going to be talking about Steven Gerrard, Emre Can, Roberto Firmino, and a few pointers for anybody who's going over to Rome like me and Paul. So we're going to get into it. Zeljko Buvac quick claims. First of all, I think most people will have seen Duncan Castles has done some kind of an article on the Daily Record. I've not read that. I've not given the clicks. I've not given the satisfaction. You shouldn't either. He's a mank. That's all we need to know about that. But everybody was sort of waiting with the phone refreshing this morning because everybody wanted to know what Pearce, what Joyce and what Reddy would be saying about it. And it turns out that there is some truth in these Duncan Castles claims. I think Duncan Castles was supposed to have said that Buvac has quit Liverpool with immediate effect. Now, James Pearce from the Liverpool Echo, and I've got it on the screen now, he's written, Liverpool dismiss Zeljko Buvac's quit claims, but the coach will miss the rest of the season. It's been confirmed that Jurgen Klopp will be without his trusted lieutenant. And I think as we go down here, Liverpool have dismissed reports that assistant manager Buvac has quit the club, but he will be absent for the rest of the season. It's been confirmed that Jurgen Klopp will be without his trusted lieutenant as the Reds chase Champions League glory. However, Anfield officials insist that Buvac, who was at Saturday's game against Stoke, hasn't stepped down, but is spending some time away from the club due to personal reasons. Liverpool's position is the club considers the matter to be private and therefore will respect his privacy by not making any further comment. They say Buvac remains a Liverpool employee and his position at the club is unaffected by his period of absence. Now, I think every Liverpool fan will know exactly what Buvac and how long Buvac has been beside Jurgen Klopp. They met in the 90s, the very early 90s, when they were playing for Mainz together. They've been working together for 17 years at Mainz, at Dortmund, and now at Liverpool Football Club. Buvac has been called the brain by Jurgen Klopp. He's instrumental in implementing the gegenpress or the counter-pressing that Jurgen Klopp is so famous for. And he's been a trusted lieutenant. I've said those words a few times already for Jurgen Klopp throughout his managerial career. They've won 2 Bundesligas together. They got to the Champions League final, and it's massively disappointing as a Liverpool fan to hear about this unrest, whether you believe the Castle stuff or not. The fact that he's not going to be here for the remainder of the campaign is a massive blow to Liverpool Football Club, because ultimately, there's a harmony that exists. Jurgen Klopp talks about harmony so much with his squad over the course of the last couple of years while he's been at Liverpool, but that harmony needs to exist in the coaching side of things as well. It needs to just be around the club and around the first team. So massively disappointing. Obviously Liverpool are respecting his wishes and keeping the matter private. They're saying personal reasons. Now, I will believe Liverpool Football Club on this because that's what they've said. They've come out and said that, and it would have been easy for him to just terminate his employment or hand his resignation in or whatever. But ultimately, I think what it comes down to is that, if Buvac has personal issues, then the thoughts of every Liverpool fan, especially me and the rest of Redmen TV, go out to Buvac, because it's worrying, because if he's not able to commit over this huge part of the season, then it really surprised me if he's able to come back and work for Liverpool again, because he's worked for the last 17 years with Klopp to go out and try and win one of these huge European trophies. And if he's not able to do it at this stage of the season and commit for another couple of weeks, then he must have either serious problems, or B, it looks like his tenure at Liverpool will be over. So it's absolutely gutting. It really is, because this guy has been instrumental. Klopp's supposed to have leaned more on the first team coach recently. I've not looked into this, but people are saying that he's not been as animated on the sidelines. And again, if that's personal issues and stuff like that, then thought of Redmen TV, and I'm sure all Liverpool fans go out to Buvac. Massive miss. So leave us your thoughts on that in the comment section below, and we'll come to them later on. Mo Salah faces a potential 3-match ban after the Stoke incident. You might have seen videos on Twitter there where he sort of lashes an arm out and stuff like that. Now, hopefully, there's no match ban for Mo Salah, because, listen to this. Liverpool star Mo Salah faces an anxious wait to see if he could be banned from the club's final 2 Premier League games. News will come as a huge boost to Harry Kane, as he looks to haul back Salah's 5-goal lead in the race for the Golden Boot. Absolutely gutting as well. Hopefully nothing happens. Hopefully it was just a flick out and it wasn't a punching. The FA will do what the FA needs to do, but leave us your thoughts on the Mo Salah stuff in the comments section below as well. Told you there's loads of news to go through. Emre Can is to sign a 5-year contract with Juventus if reports are to be believed. We all know that his contract expires at the end of this season. He hasn't played for Liverpool since sustaining a back injury in March, and he appears to be on the verge of signing for or joining Italian giant Juventus. 5-year deal according to reports in Italy. It's the Gazzetta dello Sport, who are now saying that Emre Can has finally agreed this with Juventus. Again, another sort of sucker punch at a real time of need, and you know, this is probably the biggest week in Liverpool's history for the last 10 years, isn't it? Going into a massive game against Roma in midweek, and you know, first of all you get the Steven Gerrard, which we'll talk about later, going to Rangers. Then you get the Buvac stuff. Then Emre Can's supposed to have signed a new contract with Juventus. After what was all good news, you know, last night about sort of 8 o'clock, Firmino signs a new contract and it's all great. And then since then, it's been crap, hasn't it? Let's be honest. So we'll leave us your thoughts on Emre Can in the comment section below. I will come to Steven Gerrard and Roberto Firmino next. Again, reports are saying that, you know, Steven Gerrard could be named Rangers manager as early as midweek. Could even be, you know, next couple of days or something. Now, whether you believe it's a good move or not for Steven Gerrard, Alan Shearer thinks it's a no-brainer. Alan Shearer believes that big-name players will want to go to Rangers because Steven Gerrard is a big-name player / manager, or was a big-name player, and will go on to hopefully do great things. And it feels a little bit to me like this could be almost a loan, in that, you know, there's nowhere. I think Liverpool fans and Liverpool the club do want Steven Gerrard to take the reins at Liverpool Football Club eventually. Now, if there's nowhere for him to go at Liverpool right now, assistant manager, there could be an assistant manager's role, but you know what, feels like it could be a loan move. You know, Steven Gerrard might have to spend 5-10 years working under Jurgen Klopp, and maybe that's something that, you know, he wants to spread his wings and go and cut his cloth, so to speak, in Scotland. Now, it's going to be a tough job up there. I mean, you're onto a hiding for nothing, really, and the Rangers haven't got the financial muscle to be able to compete with Celtic since their club nearly folded a few years ago, but they are back in the Scottish Premier League now. They got hammered, I think it was 5-0 yesterday by Celtic, and, you know, he wants to lock horns with his former manager, Brendan Rodgers, again, if stories are to be believed. Let me know if you think it's a good move for Steven or not in the comment section below. And finally, some actual good news. Roberto Firmino did sign a new contract, long-term contract. We'll keep him at the club until 2023. Roberto Firmino's today agreed terms, this was yesterday, on a new long-term contract with Liverpool Football Club. Forward has committed his future to the Reds by agreeing a fresh deal at Melwood on Sunday. Firmino told LiverpoolFC.com, "It was an easy decision. The club have taken me in an incredible way, and I've grown a lot here with my work, with the support of the whole team. I am very, very happy here. Everything fits in the best possible way. My teammates are fantastic. I am very grateful to be able to play with them at this club. I love to play for Liverpool FC. The fans are excellent and fantastic how they support us all the way. They support us throughout the games, and the work they do during the match is beautiful." Great words there from Roberto Firmino, and if you've seen the video, it was a little bit of a no-look signature, which you'd expect from Roberto Firmino as well, don't you? Final piece of news. This is more for people aimed at Liverpool fans who are going over to Rome. Tony Barrett's done a really good thread. Tony Barrett obviously used to be, back in the day, used to work for Liverpool Echo as the Liverpool FC writer. Then went on to work in loads of different places. But now he's the supporter liaison officer at Liverpool Football Club. A light at Termini station if arriving by train. Use Piazza Campo del Fiore and Largo Corrado Ricci. Respect monuments of national importance. Be aware that drinking alcohol on the streets will be prohibited. Avoid areas in the north of the city, particularly those in the vicinity of Ponte Milivo Bridge on match day. Use the shuttle bus service from Piazzale della Canestre, Villa Borghese to the stadium. Sorry, my Italian's not up to scratch. Buses will run from 3 p.m. There'll be a return service to Via Borghese post-match. Arrive at the stadium as early as possible with entrance procedures, and ticket checks expected to be long and arduous. Entrance gates are expected to open at 5 p.m. Be aware that should the name on the supporter's ticket not match the name on their personal ID, admission will be refused. Be aware that there will be a holdback after the game, which is to be expected to be longer than supporters are ordinarily used to. Use shuttle buses to depart the stadium unless on organised day trips, which will provide their own transport. The Foreign Office has stated that buses to the airport will also be available from Villa Borghese, and supporters should not attempt to walk from the stadium back to their hotels. And most important message of all, Tony says, don't shoot the messenger. So anybody going over to Rome, be safe, stay in groups and follow those things. Get the shuttle buses. Apparently you're not supposed to be getting onto taxis or anything like that. If you get into a taxi, the taxi drivers are supposed to drop you off at the home end, which is not something you want to do. Please follow the guidelines that Tony and the football club have set out. Be safe over there. Remember, at the end of the day, it's a football match and we want everybody, all of our supporters, to come back safe and sound. And finally, before we get into the comments, just another little shout out from Redmen TV for Sean Cox. Hopefully everything goes well for him today. Hopefully he's woken up properly and safely, and that he'll be okay, and we wish him a speedy recovery from all of us at Redmen TV. So into the comments. Tom, have you got anything on the first topic, which I believe was Buvac?
It was. I've got a few. I'll just read them both out for you. So David Evans give us $2.99 New Zealand dollars, I guess. He says, scares me, but I still trust in Klopp and the rest of the staff. And then Adam Carl Madan says, hopefully it's only for family reasons. He's the unsung hero of the staff.
Yeah, okay, first of all, David Evans, you know, I think it scares everybody, doesn't it? I think, you know, we saw what happened with Rafa Benitez and Paco Ayestaran when they had a bit of a falling out. Now, they're still not speaking even at this time, you know, almost 10 years on now. And I think Liverpool fans will remember that and start to realise that, you know, Benitez wasn't able to get over, in our opinion, the loss of Paco Ayestaran. Hopefully, Jurgen Klopp will be able to get over this loss of Buvac so late in the season now. You know, apparently he has been leaning on his other lieutenants over the last few weeks and stuff, while Buvac has had these personal issues and stuff. I think, you know, you can look at it, can't you, one way where you can see the Benitez and the Ayestaran stuff and think, wow, okay, that was a bit of a struggle, but then look how many times someone like Sir Alex Ferguson was able to change his assistant manager and keep the team interested and stuff like that because of changing those methods and that assistant manager. And so hopefully Jurgen Klopp will be able to, you know, get through to the end of the season. Hopefully we'll be lifting something with big ears towards the end of the season, and then it's about deciding whether Buvac is going to stay on or finding somebody else that fits in to Liverpool Football Club. Next it was Aaron Carroll, I think, at McCann, wasn't it? Second. What was his comment again, mate?
Basically just saying he's the unsung hero of the staff.
Yeah, I think it's funny, isn't it? Because he's unsung from fans. Even down to the fact that we had a song for Colin Pascoe and we've never had a song for Buvac. But I think Jurgen Klopp has always said that he's not an unsung hero, that I think the squad will recognise that, you know, he plays a massive part in getting them ready for games and stuff like that. So all the best, of course, to Buvac. Next one was Gerrard, I think.
Yeah.
Let's get one City Fisher here. Gerrard's religion might be a problem at Rangers. It's obviously, you know, it might be, but equally, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen there? I think, you know, the fact that they're considering Steven Gerrard will say that it maybe isn't going to be a big problem at the moment, but there we go. It's time Steven Gerrard to be number 2 and not go to Rangers, said Joseph Hanley. I wonder, you know, I jested a minute ago, didn't I, about that and stuff, but it's whether Jurgen Klopp thinks he's ready yet. You know, Buvac was with him for 17 years and has proved himself to him for a long time, and you know, Gerrard's managed the unders now for a season, just under a full season. So whether he'll be ready to take that step up yet, we don't know. We're obviously all hoping that Steven Gerrard will become a great coach and a great manager, and hopefully he'll be able to do good things at Liverpool Football Club. But ultimately, right now, Jurgen Klopp's the man who makes the decisions. So yeah, listen, you know, he could very well be a number 2, but if he's not as good as Buvac, then what's the point of making him the number 2 now? He's got to go out and learn his trade somewhere, I suppose. Fogel McLaughlin says, Pajak as Klopp's assistant, do not do that. That would be ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I know nothing. Kravitz will get a promotion, unlike Rafa. Klopp kind of has 2 number 2s, which is lucky, says Tommy Dowling. Peter Kravitz, yeah, I think he's the first team coach at the moment, isn't he? And he's the one, apparently, over the last few weeks that Klopp has been leaning on heavily. So, Emre Can stuff, Tom, have you got anything for me, mate?
Yeah, Joel Van Herten says Emre should take a lead out of Bobby's book.
And sign a new contract with Liverpool?
Yeah.
Yeah, Joel, he should do. It's mad, isn't it, that even now, you know, while we're in the Champions League semi-final, we got further than Juventus, that Emre still maybe wants to leave Liverpool Football Club, and I'm disappointed at that. I think Emre Can has shown this season that he's going to grow and become a great footballer for somebody. It's probably not to do with money with Emre Can. It's probably about status within the squad, and with the captain Jordan Henderson being there and playing in the position where Emre might feel most comfortable, might be the position where Emre wants to play moving on. That it actually could come down to something like that, and then it's whether you think Jordan Henderson's better than Emre Can. Yeah, I am gutted. I'll be gutted if Emre Can does sign for Juventus, because I think he'll go on and become an absolutely outstanding player for them. Next was Bobby Firmino. Well, listen, everyone's just going to be dead happy about that, aren't we? So why don't you get us something on Mo Salah if you can, Tom?
SW says if he gets the ban, then the FA is corrupt. The Hagazi one was worse.
The Hagazi one was terrible, wasn't it? That was the first thing that I thought of. Who was that?
SW.
That was the first thing that I thought of, mate, as well, as soon as that came in. And I was just thinking, there's no way, surely, that Salah's going to get banned for this, when that Hagazi, when the guy's on the floor, and he bang, stamps him like that, you know what I mean? And to me, it looks like sort of they're in a little bit of a tussle, and Salah sort of throws his arm around, and hopefully the FA can see it that way as well. Big news day for Liverpool Football Club. We're obviously going over to Rome. We leave very early tomorrow morning and stuff. Again, just from all of us at Redmen TV and me personally, hopefully everybody does go over there, enjoy themselves, act responsibly like we all know that we will and we do. Hopefully there'll be no trouble, and hopefully Liverpool go through in the Champions League. Thanks very much for watching. We'll be back later on today with the Uncensored Match build-up show for the second leg against Roma, where Liverpool carry a 3-goal lead. And I'll be back also later on today in another live show, doing the starting 11 prediction show. And don't forget to keep your eyes peeled on the channel as well. We've got some agents, some lieutenants, some trusted lieutenants going and watching the screen at Anfield, so we'll be doing fan cams outside there as well. Do go over and say hi and get your voice heard on the Redmen TV on YouTube after the game. Hopefully, as I say, Liverpool do progress into the Champions League final, and then it'll all be about chicken Kievs. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you next time on the Redmen TV.